Somebody just asked me to run some numbers for them. Again, our channel is called Million Dollars Made Easy. I just like to run numbers. I'm not a financial advisor, but I will try to run the numbers. Sometimes I can't run them exactly as you'd like, but this individual said he had $2 million accumulated. There's 2 million. He said he'd like to withdraw 8,000 a month. So we'll go down here to 8,000 a month. Should be a 4.8% withdrawal rate. And he said wants to do a 3% COLA. So this video is going to be kind of short, but I just wanted to get it out there. It does say he's 53, so that 2 million is going to accumulate to more. I don't know when he's thinking about retiring, if he's thinking about now, but $2 million, 8,000 a month, 3% COLA. In 1987, look at these numbers. They're so big they get out into the tens of millions. I have to expand this to go out to 10 million, the remaining balance. Why? Because I just ran 1987. Again, I could run all these different numbers. The problem with that is, here's the returns by decade. We don't know what's ahead for us in the next 20 or 30 years. This individual's 53. The next 20 or 30, we don't know whether we're going to have runs like this in the 30s and the 2000s. So what I like to do is run the numbers for all of them and look at the absolute worst case scenario. Okay, 1987, you would have been, these are the numbers, look at them. After 20 years of withdrawing 8,000 a month, increasing it by 3,000, you still have, because you're not even beginning to touch, you're getting such good returns, you're not getting low returns, or you're getting really big ones. But anyway, let's just run this for the whole last 100 years using data. This pretty much covers the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. And in the last 100 years, if numbers repeated like it did for the next 20 or 30 years, specifically 20 years, you have numbers like 1928, 29, and 1930. This individual with this scenario would run out of money. But in every other scenario, you just got millions of dollars. 14 million, 12 million, 11 million, 10 million, on and on and on. But again, that was 100 years ago. Let's see what the year 2000, how close that was, because that was 3 down years also. Right here, the summary. Okay, it'd be iffy. Right here, it looks like 18 years you'd be running out of money. Oh, that'd be the 4th year. That's why it was 3 years. Right here, it says there's 4 years. 1928, 29, and 30, and also the year 2000, you'd be running out of money in less than 20 years. 1999, the money would, after 20 years, you'd have 444,000 out of this 2 million. It'd be down there quite a bit. 2001, you'd have 717,000 after 20 years. But in most case scenarios, in the last 100 years, again, nobody knows the future. You don't know whether we're going to run into a buzzsaw like this or a bust like that. But let's look at 1973 and 74, because there was 2 down years. Most time you don't have more than 1 down year. In fact, I want to look at 1937, except it hasn't been 20 years on that one. But let's just look at 1973 and 74 were 2 down years. Again, I just love to run numbers for people. In this case scenario, look at that. You had 2 down years, but it came back so powerfully in 75, 76, up 37, up 23, and so on, that after 20 years, you'd have, starting with 2 million, you'd have 5.5 million. What's the other year? Oh, I want to look at 2008, though we don't have near enough time to look at what would happen with this. But up through 15 years, even though you had that down, that 2 million got knocked way down to 1.260 million. It still came back so nicely, 26, 15, and so on, that it built itself back up. Even when you had the down 18% in 2022, you still were well above $3 million, starting out with $2 million. And again, this scenario, 8,000 a month, increasing it by 3% a year. So hopefully these numbers make sense to you. Now, obviously, in retirement, you don't really want to leave all your money in the S&P 500. So other videos will show what would happen if you did a 60-40 split, so that when you did have these down years, right here, the 8,000 and the 8,240 be coming out of the cash reserve instead of out of the S&P 500. And in that case, the S&P 500 would be running out of money, but you still have the cash reserve building up, so it would last quite a bit longer. But again, I just want to run these numbers for people. Thank you for asking this individual. Uh, Please consider subscribing. You're going to see all kinds of different numbers, and you can learn from other people's numbers. So again, please like, subscribe, and share this with other people. Thanks for watching.